Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by TheLines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer. He's on the East Coast. Welcome back to me after a little hiatus and meeting with near death in the sickness there for about a week. So happy to be back with you guys. Appreciate Nate holding it down with y'all over the course of the last week. Really nice day yesterday from our guy. So much appreciated there on a little 2-game slate. Also had some futures looks in there for you. So that video is very relevant. Definitely recommend checking that out if you want to get some of these last minute futures in. Also want to make sure you subscribe to the channel in general because we have best bets in this episode with sides and totals looks for you. We also have some player props that are in the other episode, and we're bringing both of those to you each and every weekday moving forward. So definitely make sure to subscribe and continue to follow along. Also want to make sure you check out the description of the video. That's where we've got the link to the newsletter that comes out every Friday, and we throw our bonus parlay pick in there. Definitely want to make sure you're checking that out every Friday as well. So hop on that, and let's go ahead and jump into your first best bet here, Nate, on this big old 10-game slate.
Yeah, I got your dubs to roll the Suns. So whether you want to take team total is 118.5 seems a tick low for the Warriors, or them on the spread -9. Because, I mean, their team total might actually dip a little bit because the total is dropping for this game because people don't know if the Suns are going to bring anything. They have clearly packed it in for the season, right? I mean, losing KD as they were flailing for the 10 seed, they were just like, all right, let's just call it. The last 6 since then, they have a 136 defensive rating and are allowing 129 a game. Even if you look at like on the season without KD, they're allowing about 125 a game. So their defense just completely falls apart, but just lack of effort, lack of communication. The last couple weeks, you've really seen like even the Boston, Knicks, and Wolves all played at a 91 pace with this team, about as slow as you will see in the NBA. 2 of those 3 teams went over this total. And I mean, Boston and Minnie are not exactly playing with a lot of pace and points right now, but they certainly torched them in the half court. Opponents are shooting 47% from 3, 31.5 assists in these last 6 against the Suns, also getting to the paint, also scoring a ton of points off turnovers. Dubs are number 1 in that department. As we know, they're elite with assisted threes. They got smacked by the Suns in January, right? 130-105. That game was played at a 104 pace, despite it being a completely different Dubs team where you're looking at like Wiggs, Steph, and Quinton Post in the starting lineup with a lot of struggles there offensively. Pods and Moody were great off the bench in that game, and now those guys are in elevated roles, especially Pods. I like a little look at Pods to get like 15 PA, Dubs money line, Booker to keep filling up his empty points, 25 points. So that gets you into plus money there. But in general, I mean, Dubs offense should be on fire here. I mean, even if you look at the road home stuff, it's mostly based on the opponent they've played, but they're averaging 120 on the road post All-Star break, 7 more points per game since the start of March on the road, more assists, more 3-point attempts, even though they're not as efficient, and more fast break points. And the Suns, yeah, they're not denying any of that. So assume they will, the Dubs will be able to get their revenge here with a lot of points.
Oh yeah. Wicked. Hit this when it opened for sure. Got this at 6.5, hit it again at 7.5. Knew it was going to get up to about 10, where it's going to climb to as well. Might climb over that. I played player props in this game this morning as a result of predicting a blowout. I don't like to get ahead of the market when playing player props and be like, well, the market still says this is a -8 game. That's not a total blowout. It's just like a good win for a team. But I think I knew this was going to go up. Like, I just don't know how you don't read the tea leaves and go like, sure, Booker can keep getting his empty calories. I think maybe there's something there to just keep him happy down the stretch. Like, he's like, if I don't shoot 30 times, I ain't playing, or something like that. I don't really know what's going on there, but it's BVs big time in Phoenix. It's bad vibes. And the Dubs are trending in the complete other direction. Not a bad futures pick to come out of the West at the money that they offer the odds. Similar look for maybe the Clippers. That's probably what I would have brought to the show if I was looking at some Western Conference Finals futures. Is like those 2 teams have really nice juice on their odds to get to the finals, even to the Western Conference Finals. And the Dubs, yeah, Jimmy unlocks things. So I would have gone there. Very, very grateful that you took that pick, because I'm also really happy to go with my first pick, which is Minnesota and Milwaukee. And I don't trust Milwaukee, and I'm starting to trust Minnesota decently well. And that's with Ant Edwards, by the way. I don't know if this is talked about too much, but Ant's hand is not right. Like, he's still injured, still not shooting the ball very well. And this team's killing. So I'm gonna take them to cover the 5. I would also take an over in this game. I know this got bet down from 225 to like 223 on the total. wonderful. Like I think this should be about 228.5. That's what I make it when I look at all the players that are going to be on the court for both sides. And when you look at the recent numbers here, we know Dame is still out. That definitely hurts. But the offensive rating for this Bucks team has still been sixth best without Dame in their last 5 and in their last 10. And they've been playing bad competition. I will admit that. Like their last 5 games have been against some really bad comp, actually the easiest strength of schedule in the last 5 for this team. But the key here is just going to be the offense for both of these squads. Like Minnesota is clicking on offense. They are up to 4th in offensive rating in their last 5, 8th in their last 10. That has surged them up to about 9th best on the season, whereas they were hovering around 12th, 13th. They've been so good in their last 10 that they've now shot up to 9th on the season in terms of their O rating. Their D rating is still very good, but this Milwaukee D rating is not. The fact that they've been allowing so many points over their last 5, especially to teams that are in the bottom 5 in offense, by the way, like their last 5 games are not against very good teams. When you look at the Pellies, the Suns, the 76ers, I'll give the Hawks a break, but I'm also calling out Miami as an offense that I don't like very much. And this team is just giving it up, right, all over the place in terms of the amount of points that they've allowed in all those games. It's been about 115 to Miami, 113 to Philly, and then 123 to Phoenix, 145 to Atlanta. There's not much defense being played in those games. They're bottom 5 in transition defense as well. That's going to be pretty huge. Their teams are getting out into transition with the 7th highest frequency against the Bucks, so you can get out and get some fast break points against this team. And while like I'm not calling like Minnesota a fast break team by any means, their pace has not been high. They do get out into transition. They do get ahead of the defense's half court sets, right, and are trying to get shots up earlier in the shot clock between DDV, Julius Randle, and Ant Edwards as well. Those 3 guys really pushing the pace on offense and moving things down the court. So, like I said, I like an over. Don't really feel like talking about the defense as much because I think there's going to be points, and Minnesota is just going to outscore this Bucks squad.
Yeah, I was with you there when looking at this game that like the Bucks defense is what I'm handicapping in the literal sense. Like they are handicapped. They are not good on defense. Wolves team total 113.5. It might be a look. Yeah, but I mean, at that point, you can probably trust the Bucks to come along for the ride, even though they have good interior defense. Giannis is killing right now, and probably should keep the Bucks scoring enough to get over 222. You just hope Ant's okay. So I mean, maybe you could look at some props for those guys, Randall and DiVincenzo, as well, to say that they'll pick up the slack because the Bucks just giving it all up right now. Mm-hmm. I expect very few points in the Pelicans at Nets tank fest that we have here. I'll go under 213.5, but I'm intrigued to take this market of both teams under 110.5 for plus money. Maybe a little ladder of a little what is it? The de-escalator, the down to like 108.5. I think someone's going under 100 in this game, and maybe both teams, because they are just dreadful on offense and doing everything they can to ensure that they don't have offensive players out there. Like we might not even have Kelly Olynyk tonight for the Pels again. So it's going to be Bruce Brown, Antonio Reeves, Yves Massey, the usual suspects. The Nets, no Cams, no D'Lo, no Day'Ron Sharp even. I know they had a high-scoring game with Toronto that was played at a 107 pace the last time out. I think that's a complete outlier. I mean, their previous 96 pace, 100 points per game, 94 points per game in the 4 at home. They average 101 without Cam J. The offense has been a little better without D'Lo because they've just been sharing the ball, high 3-point rate, high assist to field goal rate. Pels are actually solid defensively with these like backups playing heavy minutes. In their last 6, they've been the 3rd best 3-point defense and 8th limiting assists. So they've also been 5th in paint defense. So I mean, I think they can keep this thing mucked up. I mean, these guys are trying. Don't get me wrong by saying that they're tankers. Like they're just backups who I just don't know where the points are really going to come from. These teams are 30th and 28th in offensive rating in the last 6. The total's pretty low, but I think it is a little higher than it would be just because the Nets have gone over in like 4 of their last 5 due to some pace metrics, etc. But I mean, you look at the Pels when they've played fellow tankers, like it has been really low scoring, or when they've played a good defense. And the Nets, even still with their personnel, like can defend. Jordy does a great job getting guys prepared. So expect some ugliness here. And yeah, the bonus pick is just Lakers under 105.5, because if they might sit 2 of the 3 playmakers, they might sit all 3 on the front end of the back-to-back, and then they're not scoring against OKC when OKC's looking for revenge after Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to play this. I mean, it's a little bit weird with both these teams when you consider OKC doesn't really need. I mean, they do want to win a couple more games, right? They're 2 games up on Cleveland for the number 1 overall seed. I don't even really know how much they those teams care about that stuff when it comes to the finals. I imagine they care, but I don't even know if the Thunder think they're going to play the Cavs in the finals, so I'm not sure if they care. But they do want to win, and the revenge factor is there big time. And then for LA, like, yeah, I mean, they want to stay in front of Denver, I imagine, for that 3 seed, but like, yeah, they're not going to have an easy time playing the Clippers or the Warriors. So like, it's a little bit weird in the West right now. And I think what you're focused on here for this game is probably the most important when it comes to looking at the bad teams as well, going under and everything. So yeah, looking at the Pellies game, I like it. The Lakers stuff, yeah, I think this doesn't make sense for them to try to go for this one when they can win the game tomorrow night much more easily than beating the Thunder tonight. So agree with all that stuff. And I'll close it out with the Knickerbockers here and take them to cover the 1.5 points against your Celtics at home. I mean, look, this isn't really based on much except for we've got KP, JT, JB all questionable. So Brown, Tatum, Zingis, they've got to play the Magic tomorrow. Again, not sure how much they care. They're locked into the 2 seed. So talk about a team that can rest everybody if they want to. The fact that this spread went from 3.5 in favor of the Celtics on the road to now the Knicks are like a 1.5 point favorite really tells me that like people are banking on 2 of the 3 of their 3 best players on the Celtics not playing in this game. So I'm going to rely on that. I think one of the Jays plays and the other 2 are out. Zingis was at shoot around today. The Celtics are magicians right now with their, look over here, don't look over there kind of stuff that they're doing with the injury reports. So I don't think we're going to see most of those guys. Other than that, like, what do you want me to tell you? The Celtics are bad? They're not. They're not bad at anything. There's not much I can tell you to be like, hey, the Knicks have an advantage here, here, and here. But I will say that this is Mitchell Robinson's first game against the Celtics this season. And that's a big deal because the way that Kristaps Porzingis is such a big deal to their rim protection, which leads to better 3-point defense. It's the same thing for the Knicks. Better 3-point defense as a result of having Mitchell Robinson back there and not the colander that is Karl Anthony Towns, a strainer that's just holes left and right, everybody getting to the rim. The reason that this team is 30th in defending the pick and roll, 30th allowing points to the primary ball handler on the other team. That's why. Mitch Rob comes in and helps a ton of that. Guys can press up on the 3-point line. They can take that stuff away from the team that is shooting far and away the most threes in the league, 5 more than the second place team, which is the Dubs. So we know what they're trying to do, and we know how the Knicks are going to try and stop it. And if any team has the wings to be able to defend on the 3-point line, it is the Knicks. They just haven't had anybody to defend them their rim down low, and that's a big reason why they've gotten smacked by the Celtics. And so this does also come down to a little bit of that qualitative humanitarian analysis rather than just numbers, which is like the Knicks need to at least lose by less than 5 to the Celtics, if not win this game. They do want to at least put away the fact that the 3 seed and not worry about the Pacers, who are 3 games back with like 4 to play. Just win this one, call it a day, and then really be good to go moving forward with just needing 1 win in the last bit. So I think it's just really just going to be a spot here. That's all it is a good spot for the Knicks, who are going to care a lot more. A good get-right spot for Jalen Brunson, who hasn't looked good since he's come back from injury for 2 games. Like, I think this is the game for them, and then we'll see if they take that into the playoffs with confidence.
Right. Yeah, that's the essence here is that the Knicks are really going to care about this because they are 0 against the top teams. They're going to really want to get that win just to like silence some of that doubters, maybe like build some confidence for themselves. And the Celtics probably aren't going to care. Certainly not enough to play all their guys. So yeah, whether you take the Knicks to win or just look at like Brunson, like getting some value on Brunson points, Hart rebounds, Mikal Bridges to stay hot. Just that these guys are going to go out there and give 110%, as we say in the cliche market, but to do what Tibbs asked them to do, which is like go out there and just bleed to death on the floor in a game where we don't necessarily need it. Actually, we don't need it at all by playoff probability, but we want it. And so I'm going to play you guys a ton, and I think they'll give the full effort tonight, regardless of who's out there on the other side for the Celtics.
How much longer do we have this Tibbs thing going here, man? He's already outlived his normal life expectancy for a team with how long he's been with the Knicks. They ain't winning a chip with him. What are we doing, New York? Let's figure this out for next season. But that's all the time we have in this one. Definitely make sure to subscribe to that channel. Check out the play of props that we have up alongside these sides and totals. Until we see you next, happy betting.